Welcome back to the Great Compromise podcast. If you heard last week's episode, then you are familiar with our Niche Issues series. For those of you that didn't, I'll sum it up here, but I suggest you listen to last week's episode on genetic privacy, as Jim did an awesome job. These episodes are different than our typical format. They are solo episodes that either Jim or I do to dive into an important niche issue that we'd like to bring attention to. And this week is my turn. Let's get into it. We know that some people in our society fall through the cracks. People we don't see are hurting and missing out on valuable attention and assistance. Today I want to focus on those who fall through the cracks of our benefits gap. This pertains to government assistance such as food stamps, SNAP, EBT, state insurance, and more. As a social worker working for community mental health, I ran into this issue frequently. A client of mine would get a raise or their spouse found work, and they would run into the problem of no longer qualifying for as much in food stamps or for a voucher for free childcare. Then a catch-22 ensues, where income low enough to qualify for such benefits is not ideal, but as soon as you make important progress towards a higher income, that the help you have come to rely on may now disappear, leaving you with take-home income that's lower even though your pay has increased. Groceries are expensive, childcare even more so. Once it falls through, a family has to weigh the benefits of working harder to pull themselves out of poverty versus falling into the gaps that will keep them there. Certain things are not taken into account. It's largely income-based to qualify for these benefits. Other bills, including medical bills that must be paid out of pocket, think specialists that won't take your insurance, helping other family financially, your mortgage, etc. It's not taken into account when you're qualifying for these benefits. Those who don't qualify for Medicaid face sharply higher costs in a private insurance plan, with hundreds or even thousands of dollars going into their healthcare premiums and deductibles. It's understandable why those just above the cutoff for insurance could find themselves choosing between their private insurance or necessities like rent and food. Another example of the benefits gap can be found in our Social Security system. Social Security was adjusted in 2021, 1.3% as a cost of living adjustment. In 2022, it was adjusted again to a total of 5.9%. This raise should be a good thing, right? It's the highest increase that people have received in the last 40 years. At face value, this is an encouraging answer to inflation, raising Social Security to benefit people depending on it as part of their fixed income. However, there's a reason we can't judge a book by its cover. The impact of this change is incomplete because the cap for benefits was not adjusted accordingly. This means that for people receiving this bump in Social Security, many of them receive less of a food supplement now that their income is higher. The net impact is that the additional Social Security is at least partially spent on food now where it wasn't before. Additional income also means that health insurance premiums go up for those with Medicare health insurance, since healthcare plans are determined by income level. So where's the real benefit? I'd like to share an anecdote I found in the news while researching this episode. A woman went viral on TikTok for her creative solution to her insurance coverage problem. This woman and her husband were having fertility issues, and their doctor recommended in vitro fertilization, or IVF. IVF is not often covered by insurance. In fact, most states don't mandate insurers to cover it. It is very expensive, estimated at reaching $30,000 or more. This woman ended up getting a part-time job working at Starbucks, 20 hours a week, in order to have better insurance that would cover her IVF treatments. She chose the highest package on her insurance through Starbucks, which were the same as her hourly income, meaning she has no take-home pay from this job. But the insurance coverage was so much better than what she has been able to receive as a small business owner, meaning that she could start her in vitro fertilization treatments without taking on a loan or going into debt. In a country where being an entrepreneur is so highly valued, why is our insurance for small business owners so terrible? Researching this episode was difficult. Not a lot of studies or reporting is done on the coverage gaps in our society. I'm sure what I've shared here today only scratches the surface. It's not okay. We need to do better so that people have an easier time supporting themselves, their loved ones, and their health. However, in our government's defense, states have been required to keep members of Medicaid enrolled in their plans throughout the pandemic as part of a public health emergency. This has kept anyone from losing their coverage, even if they no longer meet the requirements for their healthcare plan and would typically have been kicked off. While the public health emergency will end, and so will their coverage, this has rightly kept people insured during a difficult time. A potential solution could come in the form of a wider variety of benefits that are dependent on a more diverse amount of qualifying factors, creating more gradients of coverage for people who receive or just barely overqualify for Medicaid. That prevents gaps such as losing childcare or getting kicked off of state insurance entirely. This way, people are not afraid to earn more and graduate out of a federal or state aid that supersedes what is available to them now that they are making hard-earned financial progress. For example, applications would ask not only what people make, but what they already pay in medical costs per month for anything out of network, like seeing a specialist, their dentist, or eye doctor. Some medical crises cost thousands, but are never covered by insurance. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Great Compromise. If you enjoyed this episode, please like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and watch us on YouTube. Subscribe and share with your friends. We'll see you next time.